Hey PLL Army,
Hi.
Team Endgame here with our very first video of Pretty Little Liars, the Perfectionists Perfect 10, where we review each episode in 10 minutes or less. My name is Gavin.
I'm Kate.
And we're a brother and sister duo that started blogging for Pretty Little Liars, the original series, on Tumblr. But we only started in the 7th season because we started the series about halfway through. So we're really excited that this time we get to kind of start from the beginning and get in on that excitement of watching the series real time and most of all interacting with the rest of the fandom while we do it.
Yes, so we're really excited to explore our new group of PLLs, explore Beacon Heights University and beautiful Portland, along with the entire fandom. And for each of our videos, we're going to be looking at our thoughts, our biggest questions, and our predictions for the most recent episode of the show.
All right, and we're going to do it in 10 minutes or less, so we're hoping it'll get a little less clunky as the time goes on, but it probably won't get less dorky, so...
It won't. Spoiler.
You've been warned.
Yes.
As far as our initial thoughts go, we're definitely intrigued.
Yes.
We're definitely cautiously optimistic about this series and the outcome of it. And... I mean, I think immediately it's just exciting to see Allie and Mona again.
Hands down.
Absolutely. And to hear that they're already kind of putting in lots of little throwbacks and kind of an homage in many instances to the original series. We're noticing a lot of parallels already to season 1 of the original Pretty Little Liars. I think most notably in the fact that there's a girl who is presumed to be dead, but is not.
And she's blonde.
And she's blonde. If she was in a yellow top, I would have been done.
Seriously. But did anyone else notice Allie's yellow shoes that she was wearing in her opening scene and the yellow bag? Yes. So
was,
a little throwback.
A nice little throw. Same thing with the line about pie. You know, it's great that I think, and Mona and Janelle have talked about this in interviews, that there's lots of little breadcrumbs for the fans of the original series, but you don't need to have watched the original series to enjoy this. So, but as people who did, it's great to see.
Yeah.
So of course that's the biggest parallel. I certainly think that we're about to find out that another parallel is that the core characters that we're supposed to care about are going to be in suspicion of committing this this other murder. You know, obviously not Taylor, but of Nolan.
But of Nolan, yeah.
You know, I think one of the biggest things we're looking forward to that is another parallel is that when the first series started, you know, the girls' friendship was on shaky ground. They weren't close. They were, you know, kind of more friends with Allie than they were with each other. And these three, Caitlin, Ava, and Dylan have already acknowledged that, you know, they're not friends. They could be friends, but I think we will start to see those friendships blossom kind of in the wake of this tragedy and how it's going to force them to come together.
Because they'll likely be in the same circumstance of being under suspicion, having been... You know, they even made a comment about Nolan having his perfect posse of friends and that being something that he did for show, because obviously he was pretending to be in a relationship with Caitlin when he was really in a relationship with Ava, you know, all to fool his mom, who we know is watching heavily.
Yes. So that's, I mean, a very strong Allie parallel, and Allie even brings it up too, that she understands that kind of those manipulative tactics.
So for anyone who didn't watch the original show, you now know that Allie was, you know, even the mom says it, Claire, she says, you know, I'm interested in your journey from mean girl to mentor, and Allie herself says, oh, I understand how Nolan is because I was manipulative like that.
Right.
So
and I see that in the Nolan and Dylan relationship, especially in the throwback where they hooked up, and you know, Nolan kind of leveraged the fact that Dylan was gay to, you know, have something on him in terms of their hookup. And, you know, it's a little problematic that they're kind of repeating the cycle of the bisexual character, the ostensibly bisexual character, being a little menacing and manipulative about it. But, you know, again, the series is still young. I think we're going to find out that much like Allie, there was more to Nolan.
I hope so.
So we'll see. So those were just kind of our immediate thoughts.
Yes.
Moving on to our questions, I think the biggest one, of course, is who killed Nolan? And I think that really, for me, the only person we can conclusively rule out is Taylor, because first of all, she's not going to be seen gallivanting near the campus since she is
absolutely
in hiding.
In major hiding.
And because, Nolan said to this masked mystery figure, Taylor's alive, so he wouldn't be saying that to Taylor. And I think a big kind of clue that's going to be built in there is who does he either trust enough to reveal that huge secret to, or whose help does he need badly enough to reveal that secret to. I think that's going to be a key to this person's identity.
Yes, and it leads into why. So why did Taylor fake her death? Why is she hiding? What is she so afraid of? So clearly her family doesn't know. Even the friends made the point to say that Nolan didn't cry at Taylor's funeral.
Yes.
Well, we know why now, because she's not really dead.
Right.
But everyone else thinks she is. So why is she hiding?
Right.
So,
and in regards to her funeral, before I forget, how did that happen?
That's a big question.
Was there a body? If so, whose body? Or was maybe you were going to find out that she was allegedly cremated, because
or
Nolan's
that Nolan
that
identified her, and you only need one person to identify a body. Was it Nolan? I hope that they do explore that, because that's a big question. Is right. I mean, at least from the original series, while we thought Allie was dead, there was no body for a long time, at least in the course of the show. I mean, we end up finding out that there is a body, which turns out to not be her body.
And there's only so many similarities they can pull between those two before it just gets...
No more twins. No more long-lost twins, please.
Or you just don't want to suspend your disbelief anymore. So we're about to find out. I think part of why Taylor is faking her death is because we know she's aware of the BG, the Beacon Guard security system.
And she's hacked into it. We saw her, she was making note of that when Nolan went into her cabin or hut or wherever it is that she's staying. She's hacked into the system, which is why and how she notified Nolan that the mom had ordered extra security on him and that he needed to end his relationship with Ava, because it would be noted by those cameras.
But is that enough of a reason? We also saw the "they're watching you" written on the wall in her former apartment. Question. Did someone leave that note for her, and that's part of why she faked her death? Did she leave that note for Allie? I'd love to know those answers to those questions.
Because that was a really cool moment when she peeled back that paper, and it looks like it's written in blood. Maybe it's just meant to look that way.
Right.
But to see that, and then immediately is who's watching and who wrote that.
Right. And how big of a role did that play in her faking her own death? And then I think the one last big question is who is behind this surveillance team that Mona keeps interacting with in the mirrors? Obviously she's in on that. Obviously she knows where to look and when to interact. Is it all mirrors?
Is it every mirror?
Select mirrors?
She was in a car at one point, and that car was picking her up, picking up her feed.
Right. So definitely we'd like to know more about who's kind of spearheading that. I noticed that we haven't seen Taylor and Nolan's father yet. I don't know if he's playing a role.
True.
I think, actually moving right into predictions, I think we're going to find out that Claire, who's Taylor and Nolan's mom, is the one who kind of deputized Mona to recruit Allie to Portland.
Specifically Allie.
Because she's already expressed a lot of interest in Allie and in the similarities between she and Taylor. Obviously, we also want to know how deep do those similarities go? Because they've mentioned them many times. Is there a connection, or is it more of a coincidental type thing?
Right. Or does the mom suspect that her daughter's also faking her death, so she wants someone on her faculty who has gone through that and has done that?
Right.
Yes.
And then lastly, I think our big prediction is that those Beacon Guard cameras absolutely captured the conversation in the woods between Dylan, Ava, and Caitlin, especially with Caitlin, literally predicting down to the last detail of how Nolan was going to die. Yeah. That also opens up the bigger question. Was the killer watching in that moment, heard that theory, and then decided to bring it to life so that they could frame her?
And maybe did this on this night only because there was someone that had just said it and it could be pinned on.
Right. And so, I mean, that's a total crime of opportunity and also strategy with the intent to frame her. And if so, why? Is it just because it was convenient? Does he or she have a vendetta against Caitlyn? I mean, lots to kind of delve into, and this is what we love, is that we're already kind of, our wheels are spinning
so many questions,
so many different directions
from just one episode.
Right. So please share your thoughts, your predictions, and how you received the show, what you think to our points. We'd love to hear them. You can interact with us at teamendgame.tumblr.com. It's just about 10 minutes, so we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.